So we're going to continue talking about the forms of the subjunctive. We've only seen the regular verbs so far. So last time we talked about how to do verbs that are regular with er, ir, and re, like parler, vendre, and finir. Start with the il plural form of the verb in the present, take off the ent, and add the endings that are always the same. So, irregular verbs. And I've kind of divided these into a little bit irregular and up to more irregular and very irregular. So, there are some verbs that are also irregular in the present tense, which makes them irregular in the subjunctive, because if we're going to base this on the il plural form of the verb, right? So for example, dire, the il plural form in the present is il disent, D-I-S-E-N-T, which means dis is going to be the stem for all forms of subjunctive. Partir, don't forget that partir, sortir, and dormir are not regular IR verbs, so it's not going to have the ISS. The present tense with il plural of partir is il part. So the stem for all the forms is P-A-R-T. So this beginning half we're calling the stem, and the endings that come after, we're calling the endings les terminaisons. So les stems et les terminaisons. So we have all of these. These still have all the same endings we just talked about for regular verbs. We just have to know what the beginning part of them is, the stem in the present tense, because it's the same for subjunctive. Now some that are more irregular. There's some verbs here that we know already, and there's a few that we don't that I added here. But we're going to look at venir in a second as an example. All of these verbs in the present tense that we know already have two stems. And this is why we're always talking about, oh, if I know the present tense already, then future things will be easier. The way I'm going to show you the example here, and then we're going to come back to this slide. So the verb venir in the present tense has two different stems. Nous and vous both start V-E-N, whereas je, tu, il, and il plural all start V-I-E-N-N. So all the verbs on that previous slide work like this, and like boire that we see down here, where the nous and vous have a different stem, B-U-V, compared to the je, tu, il, and il plural stem, B-O-I-V. So for these, the nous form, the stem there, is the stem for nous and vous in the subjunctive, and the il plural form in the present tense is the stem for je, tu, il, and il plural in subjunctive. So let's go back to this slide. So all the verbs here are ones that work like that have two stems. The first stem that I give you in parentheses is for je, tu, il, and il plural in subjunctive, and the second one is for nous and vous. So again, the nous form of the verb in the present, you're going to use that stem for nous and vous. And the il plural form of the verb in the present, you're going to use that stem for je, tu, il, and il plural in the subjunctive. All these verbs still have the same endings we've been practicing. E, es, e, ions, iez, ent. Again, if we go back to boire, we have je boive, tu boives, ils boivent, nous buvions, vous buviez, ils boivent. And nous and vous are different because the nous form of the present has a different stem than the il form of the present. And then, of course, we have 7 verbs left that are completely irregular and not based on the present tense at all, and these ones we just have to learn. So the first 5, the stems are irregular, but the endings are the same that we've been doing. And the last 2, what a surprise, avoir, and être, have irregular stems and irregular endings. So all savoir is always sache, faire, fasse, pouvoir, puisse. Aller and vouloir have 2 stems, just like the ones we were just talking about. So for aller with je, tu, il, and il plural, the stem is I, A-I-L-L, and for nous and vous, the stem is al, A-L-L. And for vouloir, it also has 2 stems. The first one for je, tu, il, and il, veuille, and the second one for nous and vous, vouloir. So let's see what all of those look like together. I've given you all the endings. So again, all of the ones here for faire, aller, vouloir, savoir, and pouvoir, they have all the same regular endings we've been doing. E, es, e, ions, iez, ent. So for faire, we have face, 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 fassion, facier, face. Remember the ent is always silent, just like it is on all of our verbs. Aller is I, allions, allier, I. You can think about aïe, aïe, aïe. Vouloir is veuille. Veuille, veuille. Voulions, vouliez, veuille. Être is one of only two verbs. Être and avoir, they have irregular stems and endings. So être is soit, soit, soit. Soyons, soyez, sois. You notice then that the stem is either SOI or SOY. The endings are SST as opposed to EESE. And notice that the nu and vous forms don't have an I in them. Être and avoir are the only two verbs that don't have the I in the nu and vous form. It's only ONS and EZ. And then sois is back to ENT that we would expect. Savoir, all the forms are sache. Sachions, sachiez, sache. Avoir, just like être is the only other verb that has irregular stems and irregular endings. A, ayons, ayez, a. So the difference between pronunciation of avoir and aller. Avoir is a, so it's pronounced the same as you think. If you think about avoir in the present tense with je, is j'ai. That's the pronunciation of avoir in subjunctive, a. And again, different endings. Être and avoir are the only two verbs that have different endings. Here it's EES, which is normal, but then T. And then again, nu and vous with être and avoir are the only two verbs that don't have IONS, only ONS and EZ. And pouvoir, puisse. Puissions, puissiez, puisse. So those are all the forms, and the third slideshow will go through some more talking about how to use these.